Hey, what's up, classes? We are going to show you some things you can do with your MathSpace so that you guys can um, get some review during the course of this time that we're out. So the first thing is I'm in my classroom, uh, like teacher, was it dashboard on MathSpace. So when you go into MathSpace, if you go over here on these three little bars, you can get a list of topics and everything. Um, so what you're going to do is you guys are going to select the topics page, and this can go along to all classes that I have. And it's very simple and easy. So right now, as you can see, I have it in the Frederick County Algebra 1 2020 edition. And as you can see, you have um, all of your, well, at least most of the units that we've done so far, minus the polynomials, um, and I think it's simplifying radicals is the other one that's missing out of here. But anyway, you can select anything from these topics, and I'll just do expression and operations, and you can just do any one of these to review stuff within within the within the unit themselves. So for example, let's do simplifying algebraic expressions, and you could do some practice. You can do some question sets, and this might be a good idea to look at the question sets and see what kind of questions you have before you do some practice on your own. And I suggest to do some practice on your own eventually. So here we go. Like, you can look at the question types that you'll see when you go and practice. So you can try these out and learn how the questions work before you actually do some practice, which is nice. So for example, like this one, number 6 says, okay, which of the following expressions is not equivalent to 2 parentheses w plus 8? So if we wanted to try that, we can take a look at that and do a practice. Okay, we don't need to see what's new. Okay, so if I wanted to do that, we can do some practice and figure out what this question is asking. Well, if we multiply it out, we obviously get this 2n plus 12. Okay, but there's also other things that you guys can consider. Since I have two n's, I can also say n plus 12. Okay, is another way of saying it. And then this one here, since there's two n plus 6's, we can say n plus 6 plus n plus 6. So which of the following expressions is not equivalent? So A, C, and D are ones that are equivalent to this. So we would say that. So again, this is a good way that you can practice questions and understand how they work. You can use your lovely book here to look over things, simplifying expressions. Okay. So different ways it could be written. So such as this. You can see that there's practice questions here, and you can, if you want to do these practice questions and say, okay, reveal solution, you can go for it. Okay, so these are ways that you can check and study and relearn how to do this stuff in the next several weeks, because I mean we're going to be gone for a little while, so I would definitely spend some time, relearning math, and that would be a huge plus for you guys. Also, you can use the hints to help you get going. If you like I said, you're trying these problems out too, so that you can use the hints all you want, and it's not going to affect like points or anything when you do actual practice. But when you do actual practice, you'll get points and stuff to your account, and that's going to be kind of fun because I think you could do games and stuff with it later on, like coding games and stuff that you can play on here. Okay. All right. So this is stuff that you guys can do to do the questions. All right. Now I'm gonna exit out of that. All right. So you can try out the problems. If you really wanted to, you could print them out. There was an option for print if you have a printer at home. Okay. You can read the lesson towards the topic. So you can read the lesson to kind of give you some examples and to relearn some things. Now, some things might be different to what I taught you versus what they teach you, and just be careful with that. But at the same time, math is universal, and also math is interesting where you can do different things with it. So this is simplifying expressions, and this is the lesson. And so you guys are seeing how different questions here. We got some hints, I guess, that can help you. Um, you can do simplify the expression, do some practice, and then reveal the solution to see if you got it right or wrong. You can watch videos to help you. Okay, so you have a lot of important things that can help you here to relearn some of the things that we taught throughout the year, and to also give you some practice so that you're not just trying to remember one specific thing. If you spend time reviewing one specific topic, like we've been in, for example, in Algebra 1, we've been in Unit 7 for a long time. If you just continue practicing Unit 7, you're going to get bored with it. So practice the other things too, because remember, algebra was not just one unit. Okay? Course 3 was not just one unit. So here we go. Quadratics. Let's see what they got for quadratics. So since we're talking about, since we're solving, so let's see. Have we gotten to solving? Oh, here we go. Solving by factoring. So some of you guys know how to do the factoring right now in Algebra 1. And so this is stuff that you guys can use to practice Unit 7 a little bit. And this is stuff we've talked about actually. So like right here, we've talked about this in our notes before. We've talked about this and this. However, we're about to get into this stuff right here, and it's actually really simple. If we know how to do this, this is actually not that bad as well. We learn how to do that. We can learn how to do that really easily. So as we're getting along here, you're starting to learn how to factor. And you guys, we've done questions like 8. We can do questions like 9 and 10. These are GCF problems. And then we are getting into the factoring that we just did here. Now 12 and 13, you guys are probably not going to know how to do. 14, 15, stuff like that, you guys are not going to have the ability to do that because we haven't had a chance to practice problems. But here we go, 19, you guys have done some factoring like this. Okay, all you got to do is just factor these out and then take the same idea as you do apply to like question number 4, number 3 to solve the equation. So it's actually not that bad. And I'll probably make a tutorial on how to do that because solving is like really easy once you know how to factor. Alright, moving along here. See, and there's some other problems that, for example, you guys are not going to have easy time with problems like this or this. And I would just skip those. Don't have to do all those kind of problems because we're not going to be teaching you all of this stuff. Now, I will be showing you guys stuff like this and some of this stuff too, like number 24, but I'm not going to go so crazy as to some of this other stuff that you see here, okay? All right, so let's move on to course 3 really quick so the course 3 kids have a chance to see it as well. So all you got to do, if you want to change it, all you got to do is click right here to edit and change the syllabus that you want. And I'm going to pick this one. I'm going to pick the Frederick County 8 2020 edition. And again, the same thing happens here where you can pick problems out of what we're doing. And right now we were currently working on Pythagorean theorem. And this is probably a good section right here. Geometry right here. Apply the Pythagorean theorem. Look at the question sets here for apply the Pythagorean theorem. And I bet you this is exactly the stuff that we were just working on. Yeah, this is exactly what we were working on. Finding the length of C. So using a squared plus b squared to find c squared. To find c. And then the same thing here. This is the same thing. Find the length of the hypotenuse is the same thing. Then it's asking you, hey, find the perimeter. We should know how to do perimeter, which is adding all sides. Okay, so again, this is stuff that we're just learning in course 3 with Pythagorean theorem right before we left. Using a squared plus b squared equals c squared, and then finding the length of c by using the square root. And now we got to find length b. That's what we did just the last day before we got on this break. So finding B or finding length A, it doesn't matter which one it is. It's A or B, it doesn't matter. You can give one of the legs A and one of the legs B. All right. But this is stuff that could help you here. Now, when you get down to here, you guys haven't done that one and you haven't tried it yet. So, and I'll teach you a little bit about what the Pythagorean theorem really means as a whole after, you've done practice with this. But the reason for this is to make sure that all three lengths work. And that's the whole point behind the Pythagorean theorem, and I'll explain that in a future video for course 3 specifically. But problems down here you guys don't know how to do yet, and that's something that you guys haven't learned, but at the same time, I'll try to do the best I can to give you that little bit about the Pythagorean theorem as we move along throughout the next few weeks. Okay? But for your course 3 kids, like I said with the Algebra 1 kids, use these other ones and find topics in here that we've done. So in the first one here, real number system. We've done the real number system. Practice patterns. Again, use the ideas that I showed in Algebra 1, the same thing for you guys. Okay? So if I use the lesson, if I need a lesson on the real number system, I can go straight to a lesson and learn the number system like we have here. Actually, the one thing minus that we have is natural numbers, and they make that point right here, the natural numbers. But natural numbers aren't in here, but they would be in the whole number section because they were technically also whole numbers when you add the 0 in. Okay? But you can learn all of the stuff that you need to remember, and just by looking at lessons again, reviewing stuff. If you spend a little bit of time each day, and I mean just a little bit of time, it doesn't have to be a huge amount of time. If you wanted to spend an hour or two, that's fine. But if you're spending about an hour reviewing math work and doing some practice, say today I want to do something simple, I'm not feeling for something hard, and go in here and find something simple. Okay? Finding something simple to do. You could do order operations, you could use your Desmos calculator and work on it. You could I don't remember how to do square roots of perfect squares. That's easy, but say you wanted to review equations, you could do simple one-step equations to get the review on how to solve those, the two-step equations. Okay, then work on multi-step and get into those ideas that we did in class throughout the year. Okay, and the same thing goes with the Algebra 1 kids. Again, do the same thing. Find topics that you want to do. Find topics that you want to do and work on them. And if you want to review lessons, go ahead, review lessons. Look at the lessons, look at some practice problems in the lessons and do those. Okay? And build your confidence in trying to do some harder problems as you move along, okay? And I want you guys to understand that when we get back, I want to be able to move right along and try to finish off the year in a strong note, okay? And I know this is one of the craziest years that we've ever had. I know for me personally as a teacher in all my 7 years, I've never had this kind of happen before. But I'm going to do my best to try to help each and every one of you the best way I can. And if you have questions, you could always email me or even comment on the Google Classroom, and maybe your peers can help you too. Okay? So if I'm not able to reach to you immediately and one of your peers is able to, then there you go. Okay? I hope this helps you guys see what you can do with MathSpace on here. Always remember you can explore on the topics. You can also do the ebook. Ebook shows the lessons. So if you wanted to just do topics and do individual lessons based on stuff, I would do topics. Okay, but other than that, that should be a helpful guide for you guys. Use it to your advantage and work on some problems. Okay. In the meantime, I'm going to try to do the best I can with grades. I have a little online training tomorrow that I'll be finding out a little bit more about everything and seeing what we're going to be doing, seeing what they're going to do about third quarter grades, etc. So once I find out, I'll try to reach out to you guys as soon as I can. Okay? You all have a great day, and you guys stay safe. Oh, by the way, Marcos, pay attention.